If you're feeling behind in life, this video is for you. I'm gonna break it down into 3 chapters. Chapter 1 will focus on the actual reason why you feel behind in life. Chapter 2 will show you what feeling behind does to your psyche. And Chapter 3 will give you practical strategies on how to stop feeling behind in life. Now let's jump straight into Chapter 1, the why. Let's start by understanding the 5 most common reasons why you might be feeling behind in life. Reason number 1 is societal pressure. We live in a society where we're predominantly evaluated by the milestones we hit by a certain age. If we reach them, we're perceived as winners, and if we don't, we're deemed losers. For example, back in my day, you were supposed to get married and have kids in your 20s, and if you didn't, you were the odd one. So what can you do with all that societal pressure to behave in a certain way? Start questioning everything. I wanted to spend some time reflecting on the biggest societal rules that might not be suitable for you. Ask yourself the following questions. Do I need to go to college? Do I want to get married? Do I want children? Do I want to stay close to my family? Do I need to settle down at a certain age? Now let's move on to probably the biggest reason for feeling behind in life, and that is comparing yourself to others. We do this daily, whether we realize it or not. It's part of our human nature. Your ego's job is to keep you alive, and that includes assessing any signs of possible danger so you're safe and protected from harm. The tricky thing is that most of the time you run on autopilot and assign a different meaning to this primal survival instinct. You may hear this little voice on the back of your head, let's call it the inner critic, saying things like, "You're not good enough, you will never achieve success, they're so much better than you," etc. The important thing is to catch yourself every time you get into a negative loop and observe it from a distance. The thing about comparing yourself to others is that sometimes you don't have a clear picture of what's truly going on in other people's lives. You're making assumptions about the level of happiness of your peers and sometimes even strangers on the internet, based on what they choose to show the outside world. They might have relationship problems, health issues, money struggles that you have no idea about. Besides, you might be comparing yourself to people who have a completely different background than you. For example, if you're a white male born in a wealthy family in the United States, you're far more likely to succeed in every area of your life than if you were born in a poor family in a third world country. There will always be someone who you think is better looking or more successful than you. And that's okay. You're not here on this earth to compare yourself to others. You're here to have this amazing one-time experience called life. So stay in your own lane. The third reason for feeling behind in life is not doing what you want in your day-to-day life. If you feel unsatisfied with your current circumstances, for example, the job you have, the rocky relationship with your spouse, or something else, it's fairly easy to feel helpless and like you're behind in life. Not doing what you want in life can leave you feeling like a victim, hopeless, and unable to do anything to change it. The problem is that if you keep living in accordance with this narrative, you'll continue to feel behind in life. So the first thing you need to realize is that you can do something about it, but you need to come up with a solid plan to achieve the things that you want. We'll talk more about that in Chapter 3. Now let's get into the next reason for feeling behind in life. Having a fantasy of how your life should have panned out. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. That's what I've always said to my family and friends when they used one of these words to describe what should have happened, instead of the reality that we're currently in. If you have a fantasy of how your life should have panned out, it's almost impossible not to feel behind in life. You're letting your expectations as a 5 or 10-year younger version of you mess up the way you feel right here, right now. Isn't that ridiculous? Don't let the old version of you bully you into thinking that you're a loser. Things change, circumstances change, and you're not the same person anymore, which means it's time to stop listening to the old storylines that no longer serve you and create a new one that is more aligned with your truth and your values. Sometimes we expect too much from ourselves because we have certain parts of ourselves that we don't like and try not to associate ourselves with. I've created a free journaling worksheet that will help you get to know yourself better. So if you want to download it, just click the first link in the description box below or head over to coachsimona.com/shuttle. The next reason for feeling behind in life is being too focused on what you don't have. Sometimes we don't appreciate the things we already have and are too focused on the things we want. The problem is that when you're in this constant rat race with your future self, you're missing out on the present moment. It's normal to feel behind in life when you think about all the things you don't have and all the things you want to achieve in the future. But then again, comparison is robbing you of your chance to enjoy what you already have, even when you're thinking about comparing yourself with the future you. So instead of thinking about all the things you don't have, make a solid plan for the future and take consistent action so you can get where you want your future self to be. Now that we're done with the largest portion of this video, let's get into Chapter 2, the what. So what does feeling behind in life take away from you? And most importantly, what does it give you? Let's start with the first part. What does it take away from you? Feeling behind in life robs you of your ability to enjoy life fully because you're constantly comparing yourself to others and trying to fit into the mold that society has in store for you. It might also sabotage your relationships because no matter what you do, you constantly feel like you're not good enough. Now, what does feeling behind in life give you? There's a concept in psychology called secondary gains that's usually described as the advantage you get from a neurosis, mental health issue, or illness. In this case, I wanted to spend a few moments and think about the secondary gains when it comes to feeling behind in life. Are you trying to evoke sympathy, get extra attention from someone, avoid doing the work that's gonna get you further in life, or maybe something else entirely? Dig deeper. The more self-aware you become when it comes to the needs that you're trying to meet by feeling behind in life, the easier it will be to change your behavior. Which brings us to chapter 3, the how. Now, before we get into the 5 steps you can take to stop feeling behind in life, I want to remind you that almost all of us have dealt with this problem at least once in our lives. So there is no need to overthink it. Just start with step number 1 today, which is to stop focusing on others and focus on yourself. I'm not talking about comparison here. We already covered that. I'm talking about people pleasing, constantly putting other people's needs before your own and having too many responsibilities. I want you to think about 1 or 2 close people who can help you out. For example, if you're used to doing all the chores around the house, you can ask your spouse to take 1 or 2 off your plate while you study on your new project or work on your side hustle. The idea is that by focusing some of that time and energy that you're now spending on other people and things, you will be able to get further faster. By the way, I've created a free masterclass called 3 Confidence Secrets Every Woman Needs to Know. So if you want to reserve your spot, just click the link in the description box below or head over to coachsimondo.com/masterclass. Now let's get into step number 2. Set SMART goals. SMART goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Meaning, before you set a new goal for yourself, you need to ask yourself, is it specific enough? How can I actually measure its success? Is it achievable? Is it worthwhile to me? And when do I want to achieve it? Let me give you an example. Let's say you feel behind in life when it comes to your dating life. You want to have a long-term partner, maybe even get married. Okay, a goal you can set is to be in a committed relationship by the end of 2024, which brings me to step number 3, take action. Now that you've set a big SMART goal for yourself, you can break it down into actionable steps. For example, you can expand your friend circle or try out a new hobby such as taking dance classes, learning a new language, etc. Whatever your goal is, the important thing is to not overwhelm yourself or give yourself too many options to choose from. A confused mind can make good decisions, so take it slow. The next step to stop feeling behind in life is to celebrate your wins. The way you're going to reinforce the amazing progress you've already made is to celebrate your wins by rewarding yourself for every success. Positive reinforcement is way more powerful than punishment, and it will help you have long-lasting results, which in turn will help you stop feeling behind in life. By rewarding yourself, you're training your brain to associate doing the hard work and accomplishing things with something pleasurable. You're reinforcing the positive behavior and making it more enticing next time you're faced with a decision to do nothing or take action towards your goals. The next step you can take is to prepare a bad day box of things. What do I mean by this? A bad day box could be an actual box filled with things that remind you of why you started in the first place. Or maybe a folder on your computer with images, songs, quotes, and memories that can lift you up during a crisis and keep you on track. For example, you can put pictures of your favorite people, some funny memes that apply to your situation, maybe even a video from you from the past that encourages you to keep going no matter how hard it gets. I also want to give you a bonus tip. Take the word should out of your dictionary. If you're shooting all over yourself, it's definitely time to stop. Maybe you think that you should be further in life or you should act differently. But what all these shoulds do is create resistance in you. And that's exactly how you end up in this never-ending negative thinking loop. The same way strict parents try to tell their children what they should do and end up being surprised when they do exactly the opposite. Be prepared for the rebellious part of you to do anything in its power to sabotage your success based on your shoulds. Now, feeling behind in life often leads to a lack of self-confidence. So if that's something that you're struggling with, make sure to watch this video next. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in that video.